Did you know that the fourth installment of Toy Story has so many celebrity cameos, you can't even count them? What did the actress Ally Maki and her character Giggles McDimples have in common besides their appearance? Did you recognize the voice of incredible Betty White and her character Orange Tiger? Why was the choice of Keanu Reeves for Duke Kaboom unexpected for even the showrunners themselves? And what did Tom Hanks say after recording Woody's final lines? Find out in our video! Hi, my name is Clive, and welcome back to OSSA. Keegan-Michael Key as Ducky and Jordan Peele as Bunny. Ducky and Bunny is a stuffed duo of slightly rugged yet super fun toys. They are dreaming of finally devoting themselves to a child, but for now they are hanging at the city carnival as a possible prize for the winner, but nobody wants them. It's interesting that there is an actual comedy duo behind those toys, Keegan-Michael Key and Jordan Peele. For 5 years, they have been releasing their own comedy sketch show called Key and Peele on Comedy Central, so these two are very comfortable playing alongside each other. On Jimmy Fallon's show, Keegan revealed that he and Peele were allowed to record the voices together, which was a joy for both of them. After seeing how comfortable Keegan and Peele are working together, the director allowed the comedians to improvise a little. That's what the movie director Josh Cooley said about this duo. Every single thing they said was in character and on point for the story, and that's a talent in and of itself that is extremely hard to do. But to watch these two guys do it and be able to read each other's minds at the same time was amazing. It was so hard to not ruin the takes with laughter. At some point, Cooley asked the guys to sing a song, and when they asked which one, the director said there's nothing prepared for singing and allowed Key and Peele to improvise. Betty White as Bitey White, and Mel Brooks as Melephant Brooks. It's little things that make the genius who he is, and as we've seen, that's no coincidence in Toy Story. These cameos bring a smile to your parents' faces, even if you may not be quite as familiar with these comedians' bodies of work. When, at the beginning of the movie, Woody gets banished to the closet of his owner, Bonnie, he meets her old forgotten toys. The orange tiger, Bitey White, who was voiced by the 97-year-old superstar Betty White, and the blue elephant, Melephant Brooks, who was voiced by Mel Brooks himself. He is 93, but his energy is impressive. Also, among the old toys, we've spotted 86-year-old Carol Burnett as a green chair named Carol Burnett, and 97-year-old Carl Reiner as a rhino, Carl Rhinoceros. This is the first time that the characters of Toy Story have been named after the great actors who did their voices. It's great to see the Hollywood legends who, just like teenagers, laugh at their age, confirming their status as superstars. Bill Hader as Axel the Carnie. The comedy superstar and also SNL's veteran Bill Hader has also taken part in doing the sound for our favorite cartoon. Axel is a lazy, antisocial, and uninterested carnival worker who spots Buzz Lightyear lying on the ground. Thinking it's a toy, he puts Buzz up for a sale on his carnival game set. And even though Axel doesn't really make a lot of appearances, for example, with his leg only, the true fans of Bill Hader will never confuse this voice. Referring to the famous character of Hader Powder, the Toy Story showrunners have awarded Carnival Worker with the voice of America's favorite comedy actors, who have always been doing a perfect job creating nasty, antisocial, but funny and likable characters on Saturday Night Live. Flea as an announcer. One of the members of Red Hot Chilli Peppers, its bassist, Flea, has also participated in doing the voices for the movie. In his case, it was a case of inception, because Flea did the voice for the commercial for Duke Kaboom toy in the cartoon. On the presentation day for Toy Story 4, Flea appeared on the red carpet in an orange sweater with the word kid written on it, hinting that despite his age, and the musician is 56, he is a child inside. In an interview with People TV, Flea has revealed that while in his childhood there were only 4 TV channels, toy commercials have always been his favorite. Doing the voice for the cartoon, he turned back on his past, towards feelings of the world being a wonderful place of no limits filled with magic. Thanks for giving us the same feelings, Flea. Ally Maki as Giggles McDimples. Capitalizing on Hollywood trends, the showrunners have added some female characters to the new part of the franchise. One of them is a tiny policewoman with a unique laughter, Giggles McDimples, who was voiced by Ally Maki. That's what Ally herself said about the miniature newcomer in Toy Story. She is tiny, but she's completely unafraid to say exactly how she feels. Appearance is not the only thing that Ally and Giggles have in common. The actress revealed that when she was a teenager, she was embarrassed of who she was and almost never spoke up, and she was really afraid of the outer world. Well, Ally, the character you gave your voice to has become one of our favorites, and Giggles toys are flying off the shelves in shops, so you did a great job with your voice. Keep it up! Don Rickles as Mr. Potato Head. Despite the fact that this character is not a newcomer in the last sequel of Toy Story, we cannot say the same of Don Rickles, who was one of the central and most memorable characters since the first part of the franchise. Which 90s kid hasn't played with Mr. and Mrs. Potato Head? Unfortunately, in April 2017, at the age of 90, Don passed away, having left an invaluable legacy behind. However, the Toy Story showrunners have been loyal to their characters, and if Don is Mr. Potato Head, that's how it stays. With the permission of Don's relatives, Pixar pieces together existing audio Rickles recorded for other Toy Story projects before he passed away. That's how the well-known and irreplaceable voice of Mr. Potato Head stayed with it, and the fourth part of Toy Story was devoted to Don. The showrunners have once again proved that their projects aren't just money-making machines, but products of a friendly and strong family with respect and love for each other. Rest in peace, Don, and thanks for everything. Christina Hendricks as Gabby Gabby. Spoiler alert! Just like her character in Good Girls, Christina Hendricks' Gabby Gabby is not that innocent cutie who she seems to be at first. A blue-eyed doll from an antique store turns out to be a nightmare for Woody and the main creepy antagonist of the whole Toy Story 4. In her interview, Christina Hendricks said that she'd always dreamed of a doll from an antique store, but only as an adult did she get the desired doll from her husband. When she first came to Pixar and saw her character, she was completely shocked. So when I came in to do the voice, they were showing me the animation, and I said, "You guys, this is blowing my mind. You have no idea. This little doll has red hair and blue eyes and hangs out with weird ventriloquist dolls. Like, she is me. Except for, hopefully I'm not... Okay, maybe I am misunderstood." By looking at Gabby and Christina, it is easy to see that Pixar hit the lotto with their casting call once again. Tony Hale as Forky. The role of a newcomer, Forky, a toy that Bonnie made herself out of a plastic fork and some garbage, went to the star of TV shows like Veep and Arresting Development, Tony Hale. By the way, Tony has 2 Emmy Awards, which is no surprise considering his extraordinary comedic abilities, which found their use in the Toy Story sequel, and thanks to which Forky won our hearts. A plastic fork with giant protruding eyes and crooked arms, suffering from an existential crisis, captured Tony's attention right away. "Everything Pixar has created is always fresh," he said. When recalling his first visit to Pixar, Hale called the place a creative wonderland, and we can't disagree with that. Hale has noticed himself that all the characters he portrays are pretty confused. They are all lost and haven't found where they belong in the world, and Forky is not an exception. Well, not only can you notice the similarities between Hale's and Forky's tempers, you can also see how alike they look. Admit it, they do have something in common. However, Hale's reached the stars and still shows a lot of promise, and Forky doesn't even believe that he's a real toy and dreams of becoming the garbage in which he thinks he belongs. However, Woody convinces him, "No, you have a bigger purpose." And if we think about it, it's a beautiful statement. Keanu Reeves as Duke Kaboom. Keanu Reeves in Toy Story? Can you believe it? Well, it is true. The star of The Matrix, Speed, and John Wick in a cute children's cartoon? Everything's possible in 2019. The most anticipated and ironic cameo from Pixar in Toy Story 4. Daring, self-absorbed, and slightly awkward stuntman Duke Kaboom starring Keanu Reeves. That's the real Kaboom, guys. Kaboom is a stunt actor from Canada, and someone who certainly doesn't want any lessons on riding a motorcycle and perform somersaults is Keanu Reeves. The director Josh Cooler and producer Jonas Riviera admitted they were choosing the actor only based on audio samples. The recordings the actors did were played, and at some point the director shouted, "Stop! Who was that?" That was Keanu Reeves. It's hard to imagine anyone else who fits Duke better. Despite it having been a rough year for Reeves, he agreed. Reeves' Toy Story co-star Tim Allen admitted, "I sat next to him during a preview, and I had just seen John Wick 3. I was thinking that I don't want to upset him or he will stab me with a fork or something." Well, for so many years, Keanu's characters either frightened us or aroused empathy from their charming, phlegmatic personalities. But this time, he really made us laugh, having given his voice to one of the brightest characters of the last Toy Story. Tom Hanks as Woody and Tim Allen as Buzz Lightyear. Yes, we know that this is a video about cameos in the latest production, but if this is really the final installment of Toy Story, it's hard not to pay tribute to the voices that will always be a part of our childhood. Over almost 25 years, these two have always been with us, in cinemas, on videotapes, coming from the speakers of children's toys. Woody and Buzz Lightyear, the franchise's symbols, two of the best-selling toys in the world with the voices of professionals, Tom Hanks and Tim Allen. When the first movie was being filmed, Hanks was only 39. Now he is 63, and even though Woody's voice is not so rich anymore, it still sounds like home. At the Graham Norton show, Hanks revealed that after the last line was recorded and the director told him he could go, Tom kept standing in the room for a while, asking, "Are you sure? Do you not need anything? Is there anything else I can record?" Well, an almost 25-year-old story is over for both the actors and for us. Regardless of whether there will be any more sequels, it was a great time during which Pixar gave us 4 Hollywood treasures. Whose cameo was the most unexpected for you? Or maybe you've noticed something we forgot to mention? Let us know in the comments. Thanks for watching. Like the video, subscribe, and press the bell to make sure you don't miss anything interesting.